Everything seems wide angle now, but it would actually be an interesting feature to put on the camera like this, if it can be used for vlogging like this, is the rewind 5 seconds. And you just hit some menu item and say, just show me the last 5 seconds. And maybe if you aren't getting what you want, you could do another 5 seconds. But you get to immediately do a replay on what you just said. Because I just forgot. I mean, in a court of law, they say, will you read that back, stenographer or something? I don't know. I've just seen courts and TVs. I have no idea what I was talking about. So I don't want to waste any more card. I have no more hard disk space left. I cleaned up hard disks last night. I now have some hard disk space, but the whole way I'm doing video now is just a big hardware pig. And I could just upload results and delete source, and I'd be fine. And then I have to believe that source, long 2.5 hour rambling sessions, that those sources are actually going to somehow retain that data and keep it. Essentially making a virtual me. Every opinion I have about everything, any nuance I could possibly give to an issue, if I'm willing to discuss it at all, will be in these really long, clippy videos. So, I've often said my ideas are my children, because I decided not to have children, and that's a big choice. It puts you on a very different track inherently than what a lot of society is focused on. And that's a very polite way to say that. I think that some people are a little too kid crazy, and they think that because they have an unruly being that they are not controlling, that they somehow have more rights than other people. And I think that they should have less rights and be more careful about them. I don't know about less rights, but they have a rational being, much like a dog, and they're responsible for what that being does. If they're going to claim to own it, if they're going to claim legal right to have any contact with it at all, then they have to control it to some degree. And usually here I'm talking about social norms and cultural crimes, and for that, you're not going to take a kid away from its parent. But a parent should understand that they're going to lose their child through raising it wrong. They're going to create a criminal, an idiot. They're going to create, it could be any kind of person. People are fairly malleable. And I don't hold parents responsible for everything, certainly on how a person turns out. But if you're abusing your child with things I consider abuse that you might not, then we're never going to get to a peaceful, productive world. If you're indoctrinating your child into hatred unknowingly, which the more their identity comes from trivial genetic lottery stuff, then we're not going to ever get to a world run by ethics and kindness, particularly kindness to our environment. That's our immediate threat. But even among ourselves, if we can't communicate with each other politely, precisely, attempt to forgive each other for our language issues, because even within a language of you, being a native speaker of that language, there are going to be confusions about how words are used. And I think some fairly good-sized percentage of problems that we have are based on different word usages and different associations with, I guess they become for us trigger words, we could call them. Words that, as soon as they're said, mean a whole bunch of other stuff that may not be existing in any way. And then when you get cross-cultural communication or cross-lingual communication, then you have much greater possibility of confusion because you're adding two sets of confusion together and those don't match up well. Put that on top of what is commonly intercultural confusion, and all you have is a recipe for people not understanding each other at all because they have no clear framework on which to base their lives. And that's actually an argument I could make for religion, even though religion is a horrible thing and oppressive, and it's very easy to be against. And certainly most religious people are against all the other religions. But it is possible that we could use frameworks that give us the benefits of being in a religion, of having that religion serve our community and ourselves, and drop out a whole bunch of clearly false stuff, keep in a bunch of stuff from all religions around the world, all cultures around the world, our scientific knowledge and combine those together and say, this is how we think we should live. This is our set of rules we think we should live by. That's very interesting. It's a social contract you agree to because you create a better society out of it with at least some people, and you do it voluntarily. This is absolutely critical. Religions have been notoriously dangerous, so have businesses, so have governments. So right now, religions are weakening because they're not serving the people, and they're built on such old ideas and philosophies that people have a hard time taking them seriously. But they do want some of what it has to offer. So they're going to try and find that somewhere. I would like this religion I'm referring to provide the home, community, security, faith, hope, intellectual stimulation, social stimulation. I want to provide that for people so we can trust each other. I want that framework. And I'm speaking as a person who, the nearest person is very far away. I'm hardly a poster boy for social behavior or for communities, but I do know what doesn't work. And it's all the stuff that's going on now around the world, except for a few exceptions, very minor. The 99.99% of what's going on around the world is horrible. It is causing our destruction. We're just destroyed as a civilization, but also I think a lot of people feel destroyed as individuals. And I would like those people to think to themselves, I need something that works for me. And I'm not trying to sell you on it. There's no cult trick here. I'm trying to have people have sets of values so that I get to feel like I can live comfortably in a social world. And people are mostly good. I'm not perfect, by the way, at all. I currently have someone who I have a debt to that bothers me every day, and I have to get money to pay it. It's terrible. This person helped me in my time of need, and I've not paid them back. And they don't need the money, but it's just really super rude of me. It's a sin. It's a sin. I don't throw that word around lightly, but I think we need to figure out what's acceptable social behavior, what things are cultural rules, and which are legal rules, meaning that there will be something bad happen to you if you don't agree and act in agreement. And the worst case would be death, and the only rule I have that is punishable by death is to die. If you die, you're punished by death. That's it. The more common, equal to a death penalty one would be expulsion. This is a exclusive environment. It's not going to put up with people's bullshit that does not fit in with the well-defined culture, well experimented with, hopefully loving and successful and peaceful culture. You can't be here. And then what are we left with? Amazing people having an amazing time. And I've only had tastes of that so far. But I have a lot of experience in how to set it up. I recommend you borrow my experience and implement it where you are in whatever different way. If you hate some way I'm doing it, don't do it that way. Do it another way. But save the world somehow, because you're in a position to do it. You can start where you're at, and sky's the limit. You can build a better world. Good luck to you. I gotta go.